What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are out here at the Thompson project again, and framing is rolling out, as you can see. And one of the details that we have to work with is we're working with some Simpson WP28s hangers. All right, so these are actually top mount hangers that are sitting on top of our sill, and then we've got connection points down here. So these are obviously double 2x8s. We've also got single 2x8s on the shorter spans. And the detail for this reason is because we're working with a pretty steep grade, as you can see, going to the back of the house as this addition bumps out. So we've got a retaining wall built into the structure per the engineer, and then where our sill plate sits in below on this back end. And we had to do the WP28s on the face, so we had some working room above the stem wall. And the reason being, we wanted to have enough stem wall to combat some of the soil pressure that we're working, especially on the back of the new part of the house. So this detail was designed by the engineer to allow us to get the stem wall higher, but still tie into the existing subfloor of the home without having too short of a stem wall. So these WP28s by Simpson are pretty cool because we're working with stem wall structure on this hanger. We have to actually either run concrete nails or screws, which would be a pain in the ass in here, and structurally be a little bit wiggly, or we can go WP28s, which are these giant flanges here on this double, where we screw down into our sill plate, and then we have an attachment point here on the joist as well. They're actually a really cool hanger. I don't think I've actually ever used this Simpson hanger before, but I like the detail on it, and it's actually working out pretty well. Another little tricky point was doing layout for our joists, is because this end of the flange kicks out quite a ways from the given point on one end of our hanger. We got to pull a line back with a speed square or combo square to make our marks. We can do our layout, because these actually gets installed first before we roll out all our floor joists. So just one kind of interesting detail as this thing continues to roll out. The other thing that we have to combat is we've got a pretty shallow crawl space to work in, and so if we were to frame everything up, drop subfloor down, this would be a hell of a time running all of the ductwork into the crawl space, because you can see our crawl space is conditioned. So we've just got regular ductwork running through here, and Casey's actually working on the ductwork himself, and the plan was to get as much of this done and inspected before we actually put down any subfloor, because if you imagine crawling around in a space about 1.5 feet from the bottom of the floor joist, that'd be a giant pain in the ass too. Really difficult. So we try to get most of that in, or should I say Casey got most of that in before we start rolling out subfloor. Makes it a hell of a lot easier. Hopefully we can get some of the plumbing drains and stuff down in there before subfloor goes down as well. If not, obviously we do have access points per code to get down in that crawl space. So that's just stuff you got to think about when you're building, and when you're doing, especially when you're doing additions, remodel work, and you're working with really odd structure to begin with, and then you got to kind of combat some of that stuff as you move forward. It's not like straight up ground up construction, stick built. It's a little bit more thinking for sure. So that's what we got going on today. It's hot as balls out here. We're gonna break another record today, it sounds like, which I'm not looking forward to. Those are the records I don't want to break, but that's real hot. I'm actually gonna get out of here before everybody else is, because I can't deal with it. I'm a wuss when it comes to heat. But there you have it, we're rolling out that. So waiting on some more lumber, I mean gold, wait, no, I mean lumber, yeah, to show up, shockingly, because we're short on some floor joists. We're actually short on some sheathing as well. But next steps would be floors go down, subfloor goes down, then we can start rolling up our walls. Inside on the existing home, there's still some more demo going on. Casey's decided to take all of the drywall out, which is really cool, and I'll go in there and show you in a second why we're actually doing that. And then we've got to actually run a new WRB on the back and sides of the house, where we have skip sheathing as well. Take you around to see that. And some plywood. Get a new WRB. The back of the house is actually going to get the zip system, just like the rest of the addition as well. And then we just got to keep rocking. So let's go inside. I'll show you real quick the couple reasons behind why he's taking out the rest of the drywall. All right, so all the drywall is coming out for two reasons. One being, it's just more functional and feasible to take everything out to try and to match a new texture going in. We're gonna texture these walls. So it's just easier to match if everything starts fresh and new. And obviously secondly is because we're, you know, dealing with patching a lot of walls as we're running new electrical and so forth. Actually, there's 3 reasons. I stand corrected. So the third one is actually because we can actually go ahead and upgrade our thermal envelope. So on the existing exterior walls, we can now come in and get an upgraded R value per insulation. So we can get into, like back here on this addition, which was done I think back in the 80s, we've actually got, or maybe early 90s, we've got 2x6 construction here. I can get a full R21 bat in this. That's actually what code is currently now. So I can actually upgrade this thermal envelope a lot more than I thought we were gonna be able to at the beginning of this project. So all those exterior walls now get an insulated insulation upgrade, which is really, really, really beneficial to us, especially since a lot of this structure is gonna end up being vaulted just like the existing. So our roof R values get a little combated because of that. And so when we're updating our wall value, that UA trade-off that we're working with, as we're working with those IECC codes. So there's actually 3 good reasons why we're doing that. All of it functional, all of it actually end up being better, and we're not losing, as far as budget wise, it's not really that big a deal. So that's the 3 reasons why. All right guys, that's it for this stop. We're gonna keep rolling these suckers out. I know Casey's hating life right now because it's literally 100 degrees out here. I feel sweat dripping down my butt at the moment. So we're gonna get back to it. Stay tuned. Next time we'll have an update. We'll have the rest of this framed in, walls up, tie in for the roof, and hopefully get some sheathing done. This hot mess back here will be all cleaned up. This section of wall is gonna be going away, as I talked about before, because this is being bumped out. So you get to see the full layout once we get framing done. Say hi, Casey. That's it. Until next time, keep building.